Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 115. We have a great show planned for you today. I'll tell you more about that in a moment, the guests and the topics that we've got for you this weekend. But first, I do want to remind you about our awesome contest with Hotels.com. It's our second last show with this contest, where we're giving away a $250 gift card each week for a total of 8 weeks. Again, this is the 7th of 8 weeks for a free night or two at a hotel of your choice when booked through Hotels.com. Here's how to be eligible to win. And it's open to everyone in the U.S. aged 18 and older. All you have to do is this. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Type a sentence on why you could use a little getaway and include the hashtag TechItOut. That's it. A name will be randomly drawn. I'll announce it on the show next week and on social media as well. And if you want to read the full terms and conditions for this contest, it's on my website, marksaltzman.com. M-A-R-C, S like Sam, A-L-T-Z-M-A-N.com. Just click on the Hotels.com contest, a little tab in the top right of the page. In a moment from now, we're going to talk with Carley Knobloch about tech for moms and dads this fall. After that, we'll learn about a product called Charge-Chek that's meant to preserve your smartphone or tablet's battery. And finally, we'll learn about the Vivaldi browser, which is now available for Android, and the things that it can do that your other browsers can't. That's all coming up on this week's Tech It Out. All right, let's kick things off. Now that the fall is about here, we're back into the regular routine, right? Kids back to school, moms and dads back to work full time perhaps. And so the family, or at least the parents, may be feeling a little, overwhelmed with it all. Well, fortunately, we have on the line tech lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch. She's here with us to share 5 smart ideas that can help busy parents. Welcome back to the show, Carley. Always great to chat with you.
It's always great to chat with you, too, and I'm so excited that we're talking about this because I do feel that parents get especially frazzled this time of year, myself included. So I've partnered with some really great brands that I think will help parents out in all ways.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's start with a couple of smart devices that you like for the home that could help a busy family out.
Totally. So the first thing that I would love to share is the Ring Door View Cam. This is a cool product from Ring. It's actually a smart doorbell like you're used to seeing from them, but it's a smart doorbell with a camera that you install yourself on any door that has an existing peephole. So it fits right over the peephole. So if you have a peephole in your door, you can easily DIY this. And it's a really great option no matter where you live because it doesn't really require any wiring or drilling. So if you live in an apartment or single family home, if you own it, if you rent it, you can install this thing. And it has a whole laundry list of features like 1080p video, night vision, motion detection, two-way talk, knock detection. You basically, if anything's happening at your front door, anything at all, you're going to be the first to know about it through the Ring app, whether you're inside your house or anywhere where you have your phone. So it's a really cool product because, again, there's no drilling or wiring necessary. You can uninstall it and bring it with you when you move. And,
love it.
It's a great product for renters. And just, easy way to make sure your kids are getting home from school properly and the house is nice and secure. Maybe if you're at work and they're at home, you have a little extra peace of mind.
I love it. And I love how that, again, whether you rent or whether you live in a condo or an apartment building where you may have some restrictions about installing a new doorbell, this gets around all of that. And it's funny. So I have the Ring video doorbell, the regular one, and my twins are 17. And I'm at the age now where my wife and I, we go to bed before my son, one of the 17-year-olds, comes home. And we always say to him, but wake us up so we know that you're back, right? So the other day, he didn't wake us up. And he's like, I was home, whatever. So I said, wait a second here. I opened up the app and I saw what time he walked up to the door. And now I know why he didn't wake us up, even though he claimed to try, because he was past his curfew. So the Ring, I love how you can see, what time people come and go as well. It's the teens don't love it, but as a parent, I think it's pretty cool. And how much does the Ring Door View Cam cost?
Yeah, so it's $199, and it's part of their whole line of products. So they have different products with different features, but that one is $199. I love your dastardly parental surveillance. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it helps. It's a tool, right? Are there any other devices that you like for the home before we talk about driving outside of the home?
Yes. So, I think the kitchen is definitely the place where we all feel like we need all the help we can get, making breakfast, making dinner, getting kids' lunches prepared. So the Sensate faucet with Kohler Connect is really like the ultimate kitchen assistant. We don't think of our faucets as being especially helpful, but this one has voice commands. So you can turn the water on and off. It also has touch commands or touchless commands as well. So you can wave your hand underneath to turn it on and off, but you can also talk to it. So it'll turn on and off with voice commands, as well as dispense measured amounts of water, which is really nice. You can throw a pasta pot underneath it, walk away, and tell your faucet to fill the pasta pot, and it will fill it but not overfill it, and will turn off when it's done, all while you're off prepping other parts of dinner. It also keeps an eye on your water usage too, which is cool. You can monitor that in the Kohler Connect app. And it comes in 4 gorgeous finish options, which means it'll be, it'll look beautiful in anybody's kitchen. And it's just sort of like high tech hiding in plain sight, because it looks just like a beautiful regular faucet, but it has all these really stellar features. Love it.
Talk about a smart kitchen. And I thought the, Echo with a timer was high tech. How much does this cost?
That is starting at $875.
Okay, very cool. And the name of the product one more time?
Yeah, it's called the Sensate faucet with Kohler Connect. Connect is spelled with a K. Kohler Connect.
Right. And Kohler, of course, Kohler. They have a lot of high-tech things, which I like. All right. So let's say we have a teen driver in the home, as we do here. Are there any technologies that you can suggest to keep a parent sane while they are out on the roads?
Well, I can't promise complete sanity. I mean, I definitely know from experience there's nothing more stressful than when your teenager starts driving. But there's a great product called Pioneer's R Drive, the letter R and then Drive, powered by LoJack. So it's definitely aiming to offer some peace of mind to all of us stressed out parents by monitoring all the driving habits of your teens. So it has great features like vehicle tracking, speed notification, and crash detection. And because it's powered by LoJack, your teenager will have a live agent assisting them if the car is stolen or in an accident of any kind. So it's just, again, a little peace of mind to know that they are going to be, have an extra little layer of guidance and protection on the road. And you can keep an eye on things like speeding and cell phone usage and all of that kind of fun stuff.
Okay, cool. And how much does that cost?
That is $300 and comes with a 12-month subscription plan.
Okay. Again, that's the LoJack part, right? Okay, Carley, we are chatting, by the way, with tech lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch. She's chatting with us about smart tech for the fall to help the busy family manage their schedules. And speaking of teens, how can we teach them financial responsibility?
Yeah, it's something obviously that every parent tries to do, is help their kids build great financial habits, especially before they head off to college, like mine just did, which was just completely nerve-wracking.
Wow.
But there's a great product called, I know, right? There's a product from Capital One. It's called Capital One's Teen Checking Account and Debit Card. It's a great tool for parents to help teenagers learn to manage their money. Teens can set budgets and savings goals directly from the app. That's where they like to hang out anyway, on their phone. So they've got an app just for them. And then parents can keep an eye on things and offer guidance and track spending with getting real-time text alerts when their kids are spending stuff, and set allowances as well.
Okay. And is that a free app? Because I know Capital One often has these tools that they don't charge for.
Yes, it is a free app, and I believe that there's the checking account is free. There's no fees. There's no minimum. So they're really trying to make it a great entry product for teenagers to start their relationship with Capital One, and parents to kind of keep a watchful eye, and it's almost like a training wheels checking account, but very mobile forward.
Love it. Never too early. And then finally, Carley, let's talk cleaning technology.
So yes, this one is super exciting to me. I don't know why I get so excited about vacuum cleaners, but I do love a good vacuum cleaning technology story. So the Pinco Pure One S12 is a feature-packed cordless vacuum cleaner that I think really has thought of everything. This is a story, though, that I've never heard before. It's got artificial intelligence built inside that will adapt the suction power to the dust amount on your floor or on your couch or wherever it is in real time. So it's basically cleaning smarter as it's going over your surfaces and evaluating how much suction power it needs, which then can optimize the battery life. So it can actually clean up to 100 minutes, which breaks most of the industry records. Yeah, so there's a couple different models, but they start at $499. And there's all kinds of great novels, so it can become, something that's longer if you want to hold it, and vacuum the floor, or something that's more handheld if you want to be vacuuming your drapes or a chair or a sofa or something. It's got lots of different little interchangeable parts.
All right. Thanks, Carley. So where can we go for more info on all of these products, or even for those who want to see it in action?
Yeah. So for more information, and there's a great little video there that you can check out on techformoms.com. You can find everything I covered today. And I like to say also for dads and anybody who's looking after kids and who are going back to school.
Right. All right. Techformoms.com. Carley Knobloch, thanks so much for your time. Have a great fall. I look forward to chatting with you again soon.
You too, Mark. Thanks.
This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS, for those in search of incredible. I'll tell you more about ASUS after this short break. That's ASUS.com. You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, which is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. When you plug your smartphone into the wall and go to bed, it's probably charged up in 30 or 40 minutes, but you keep it plugged in all night, right? 7-8 hours or so. And leaving it plugged in overnight means that the battery will continue to trickle charge for several hours. Well, this isn't good on your electric bill, nor is it great for your smartphone battery. Well, there is a product that might be able to help called Charge-Chek. I've been playing around with it for a week as well. Joining us on the line to explain what it is and how it works, we've got Dan Vokey with us. He's the sales director at Charge-Chek to talk with us about Charge-Chek. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Well, thank you very much for having me on, Mark. Appreciate it.
Why don't we dive right in? What is Charge-Chek exactly? And it is spelled C-H-E-K, correct?
You got it. We're a new company, and basically Charge-Chek is an external device that connects to your charging cable, and it's ultimately designed to add many years of battery life to your mobile device. I personally have been in tech for over 20 years, and I thought it was up on most things, but I was surprised to learn that lithium-ion batteries have a limited lifespan, have a limited number of charges available, and every time you charge to 100%, you hurt them a little bit. And I'll explain a bit more about that. But basically, Charge-Chek fixes those three main things. And it's ultimately designed to give you the maximum life out of your battery. And it will work with any type of software that you have. It's not mandated by the software in your system. So it will work with iOS, Android, Microsoft, whatever your device uses. Small, we try to develop something that would be a set it and forget it device. It doesn't come with any software. There's no programming involved. It's plug it in and forget about it.
So that's basically it, and you don't know what's there. There is a button, however, and a couple of LED lights on Charge-Chek. What's that all about?
Well, the button is designed that when you disconnect the Charge-Chek, because it's designed to be mobile, you have to press the button when you hook it up to another device, and that kind of resets it from scratch. So it's a reset button that you use depending on how you unplug it and what you use it with during the day.
Okay, got it.
So it's kind of set it and forget it is the goal. But if you do pull it out and use it, we do have to reset it because it's external. So if you're using it on a computer or a notebook, or if you're using it on a tablet or a phone, basically you have to push the button each time you use it. And also, if you're using multiple phones on the device, you'd have to push the button to reset it.
I'm looking at a little green and a little blue LED light as well.
Yeah, the lights do the same thing. We just wanted to be a little colorful with it.
Okay. So it just confirms that it's working and it is connected to a device. Okay. Got it. And what was the impetus for this product? Usually, it's said that good technology solves a problem. You did outline a few of the issues with how we traditionally charge our smartphones, but what was sort of talk to us about the creation of this product?
Okay. Well, very quickly, our parent company has been in manufacturing of computer components for they started in 1985. And I think we're the last known computer component manufacturer in North America, if you can believe it. And because we've been out there in the market, we've been working with kiosks and tablets. If you go to a grocery store or a department store, sometimes you'll see those stands that have push buttons to give you information on what's going on, or you see them in restaurants. We started to notice right away that batteries would not lasting more than a year. Because they're plugged in 24/7 and there was no battery modulation happening, they would instantly, after a year, they would just give up, bloat. And unfortunately, these things are pretty toxic. Some of them even caught fire. So we came in with our battery modulation. We found a way that by controlling the amount of charge, controlling the charge times, that we could get extended life out of these things. Now, we launched those 3 years ago, and those batteries and those devices are still going strong today. So once we've gone through the tablet and we realized that there's a definite need for the same type of product in the consumer space. And that's how we got started. We decided, okay, let's take that technology and bring it down. Now, it's not quite as robust as our industrial side. We quickly realized that we could come up with a device that could benefit everyone.
By your estimation, Dan, how much longer will your smartphone battery last with Charge-Chek versus without?
That's a brilliant question, and it's a difficult one to answer. The reason I say that is it all depends on how the manufacturer developed the phone or tablet and how they use their battery, how you charge it, and how how many apps you have running, how often you charge it. Did you know that there's even different specs for batteries by state and by province in Canada that, for recycling reasons, they have to manage their battery technologies differently? So it's impossible for us to come up and say that this will happen and that you'll get this. What we can say is with our tablets, we've gotten 3 years plus so far. And with the phones that we tried out in the last year that we've been doing our sampling, we haven't had any issues with it, but we're not gaining any time, or we can't put it down to a number to what it is. We fully expect, though, with our analysis, that you should get, if you're a heavy user and you're charging every night and you're plugging in and you're just going to bed and waking up in the morning and you're a heavy user during the day, that you might be able to save 2 to 3 years off of Charge-Chek.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a big time, but that's, once again, it's going to vary by manufacturer. I would love to sit down and give you a definitive line, but we got to be a little bit careful. And to be honest with you, that's why nobody's done this so far. It's really difficult to put a cap on it and say, this is what it will do. All I can do is say, this is the issue. This is what we've seen. And, your battery in your phone today is really designed to last about 2 years.
Yeah, that's probably about right before it starts to deplete over time. And exactly. I remember with, maybe it was nickel cadmium batteries, that they used to say you should only charge it up when it reaches near zero. And then with lithium ion, they said, no, that's not the case anymore. So is there a rule of thumb, when it comes to charging up your devices with a built-in battery?
Lithium ions are a long way ahead of nickel. The batteries that we use today are fine to go to zero. They're okay to go to 100, but what we've found is that if the battery is charged to 100%, what we do is we turn the battery charging off when it hits about 95%.
We'll continue chatting about Charge-Chek when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We're chatting with Dan Vokey, sales director at Charge-Chek, the company that has created this product called Charge-Chek. That's ChargeChek to match the branding of the company name, which is Charge-Tek, TEK. And we're learning about this product that can help you manage the battery charge levels of your devices, not just smartphones, right? You said something earlier about tablets as well. Are those the two sort of products that you're really looking to cater to?
Yeah, that's where the major lithium ion market is. And it's the phones and the tablets. And we work 100% well with both. And probably more so with the tablets, because tablets have a tendency to be plugged in a lot more. A lot of people will leave their tablet plugged in. It's not something they use almost on a daily basis or an hourly basis. It's much better suited for a tablet than a phone, but it's also vital for your phone, because people are just going through them too fast. Now, every phone's a little bit different. And what happens is manufacturers know this very well, because what happens is when you're charging a device, you may be charging at 5 or 20 watts. That wattage drops dramatically when it gets to within 5 or 6% of finishing. The reason being is every time you hit 100%, it's like water torture. Every time you hit 100%, it's a little bump. It dies a little.
Well, that's interesting, Dan, because I was going to ask you, since I've been playing around with the product, and it is difficult to see if it works well in such a short amount of time. But I noticed that when I woke up the other day that I looked at my phone and it said 95%. So I thought, maybe it hit 100 and then it cuts off the power so that it starts depleting again. I've got things like, notifications and other things going on in the background that's going to impact the battery, even though I'm not using it. So it never did charge to 100%. Then.
That was our goal, exactly. Now, that doesn't happen with every phone. Some phones manage it better than others. And if a phone company that's manufacturing it allows you to go to 100% without a wattage drop, then it's fine. But if they do drop down, they know it's messy getting up to that 100%. We turn the charging off right then and then. So for some phones, it could be 94%. Some other phones could be 97%. Once again, with the amount of variables, we can't manage that. But the other thing, too, is the other thing that Charge-Chek does is when you plug it in and it stops your charging. It hits 97%, it stops charging. We stop charging for a predetermined amount of time. We stop for an hour and a half. And then an hour and a half, we wake the phone up. We see how it is on charging. Is it trickle? Is it, come down a bit? Does it need additional juice? If it doesn't, we just turn it back off again. And we keep cycling that hour and a half thing where we do a check. We don't allow it to charge. We just do a check to see how it's doing and if it needs more power. Because we want to keep it at optimum, which is typically 95%. So that's that in adverse to having your phone connected. And what will happen is if you leave your phone connected after it reaches 100% and you've got a bunch of apps running in the background, it's going to trickle down a bit.
Right.
It's going to run to 95% and then charge back up. Now, this could be happening 50 or 60 times a night. Right. And that's the bad part. That's what's really killing your phone.
Yeah, it's wear and tear.
Yeah. And if you actually look at the warranty on your phone, okay, and nobody reads the fine print, but it tells you specifically that once your phone reaches 100% to unplug it. And then if you don't do that, you could actually be voiding your warranty.
Ah, interesting.
Okay. And that's because, specifically if somebody came back to them and said after a year, hey, my battery's died, right? Well, bottom line is, have you been keeping it plugged in at night? And if you read your warranty, sorry, you're not eligible.
Right. Interesting.
Okay. So those are the big things that we do. So by doing those few little tricks, and the only way we can do them for all phones is doing it externally. Okay, I know that you see some stuff, and it's kind of been hard for us to educate the market on this, but you'll see some stuff that's available under software, right? And you'll see these apps pop up that say, save your battery life and what have you. Unless you have total control of the charging station, you can't really make a difference. And with those software guys, they try to do some things, but until that phone company or manufacturer allows them to the root of the phone, which they almost never do, you really can't make a change. And you really can't stop full charging and the things that Charge-Chek does because we're independent of the manufacturer and we're sitting outside of the phone.
Could this potentially save you money on your monthly utility bill?
Not much. Yes, it can because you're stopping charging, and that's a great thing.
Like vampire power. Yeah, like they call it vampire power, standby power, or phantom power, where your devices are still sucking electricity even though they're not in use, but they're still plugged into the wall.
Yeah, it's minimal. It's really minimal. That's why we turn it off entirely for an hour and a half, right? And then pop back on, and if you need like 10 minutes of charging, we'll allow it. If not, if you're still within the parameters, you're fine. Right. But I think the one thing I wouldn't mind touching on is the bigger issue here is and I always call it the elephant in the room, is that if we can make these batteries last longer, we can have people keep their phones longer. Now, there's a lot of early adapters, and I love you guys, and you're one of the biggest ones, and that's wonderful, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to get more money for your trade-in or you're selling your old device if the battery's working, right? Number one.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Number two, a lot of people don't want to upgrade early, and this is the biggest reason besides new technology that people go out and upgrade their phones is because their old ones stop working. Now, one thing, and then what I say about the elephant in the room is the environmental impact that these batteries have in our landfills is pretty intense. Just by, if we can keep some of those batteries out of landfills for a few months or a year or 2 years longer, we're saving quite a bit. And I don't know if you're familiar, but once these batteries die, if they're pierced, they have a tendency, and it's a strong tendency, to simultaneously or to combust on their own. They catch fire, and we've had a real problem. New York sanitation has had major issues with their trucks catching on fire because they're piercing lithium-ion batteries. And once the battery dies and it bloats a little piercing, it will catch fire.
I've seen that bloating. Yeah, I've seen that happen for sure on smartphone batteries. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And what we're trying to do is I think it's important that we keep those things out of landfills. So, that's a big thing for us too. So not only are you going to save yourself a whack of dough, not only are you going to be better for the environment, but you're not going to have that day, and I'm sure it's happened to everybody, where your phone dies, and it always dies on the most critical day you have in business.
Yeah, right.
And it starts going wonky, and you can't figure it out, and all the hassle. We can alleviate all those things, and we can do it at a very inexpensive cost.
Speaking of cost, Dan, why don't we wrap up with that? How much does Charge-Chek cost?
Street price is $29.99. And we'll have that on promo sometimes. You might be able to find it for $24.99. But we're just hitting the market. We're available on all the major sites, hopefully to be in all the major retailers soon. But right now, we're more of an online play. And we're, like I say, we're just getting rolling, and we're excited to get this message out to the market.
All right, $30, and depending on where you buy it, it may include shipping, it may not. And you can learn more at chargetech.com. That's charge-tek.com. Is that right?
That's absolutely perfect.
All right, Dan. Dan Vokey, Sales Director at Charge-Chek. Thank you so much for your time. Sounds great.
Thank you very much for having me, Mark.
A reminder of our huge contest with Hotels.com. You could be eligible to win a $250 gift card for a free hotel stay. If you're a legal U.S. resident who's at least 18 years old, here's how to enter. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Send a tweet to them with a sentence on why you could use a free stay or two in a hotel, and include the hashtag #TechItOut, the name of this show. We'll randomly draw a winner and read it next weekend on the air, and I'll announce it on social media too. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn all about the Vivaldi browser. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, which is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning ZenBook laptops. You got to check these out at asus.com/US/radio. Not all web browsers are created equal. Now available on Android, Vivaldi browser is billed as a fully featured and secure browser you can trust. And in this day and age of data breaches, left, right, and center, trust is super important. Joining us on the line to chat is John Von Techner. He is the co-founder and former CEO of Opera Software and co-founder and CEO of Vivaldi. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you, Mark.
Sure thing. Now, I touched on in my introduction, John, what's wrong with some, if not most, browsers out there today. But before we talk about Vivaldi, what is wrong with a lot of these browsers? What's the problem with what's already offered today?
I mean, my feeling with a lot of the browsers out there, they're kind of limited in their approach. There's a need for a browser that puts the user needs first, and that's our focus. It's kind of how do we build the best possible browser for people that are spending significant time online, which a lot of us are doing, and that want to have an effective browser that is not living off collecting information.
Okay, so that's, in your opinion, one of the biggest issues with today's browsers is that they're tracking where you're going online and using that data for probably marketing and other purposes.
I mean, with some browsers, but I also think, I mean, the design principles are about being very simplified. And I think given the amount of time a lot of us are spending online, there's also the question of, okay, do you have a browser that helps you do what you want to do, or is it kind of too simple?
Okay. So with that in mind then, John, please walk us through Vivaldi. What platforms is it on now? I understand Android is around the corner, as I hinted at. Tell us what makes this browser special, Vivaldi.
Yeah, I mean, we started with the desktop side, actually. We started with Windows, Mac, and Linux, and we've been working on that for some time. So you already have a fairly advanced browser on these platforms. And now we are adding it onto Android as well, and we will continue to take it from there. Clearly, the focus is really to have a set of features that make the browser useful that you'll not find in any other browser.
Can you walk us through what some of those features are? Why don't we start off with privacy features?
I mean, on the privacy side, the most important thing that we are doing there at this time is actually what we're not doing, which is not collecting information on you. And in reality, most of the other browsers are in one way or another collecting information. Some of it not so it's a big deal. Some of them are just looking at how you're using the browser to potentially use that to improve the browser. Others are collecting information for advertising purposes. In our case, we're not doing any of them. We're not collecting any information about what you're doing with the browser and building profiles locally or in the cloud. So that's an important factor for us. We're also providing a synchronization function, which allows you to synchronize between your different devices. This is encrypted with your password, which we do not have access to, which allows you to keep your data safe between platforms as well.
So I know with many browsers like Chrome, it can synchronize your bookmarks and your activity as well, but are you suggesting that that's not an encrypted connection?
In some cases, it's not, and clearly, I mean, Google as a company, they are collecting data on you. I mean, there's no question about that, whether it's through the browser or through you visiting sites and the like. There's a reason why there's such a lot of focus on how do you stop the collection of data, and a lot of that is related to Google, Facebook, and a few other companies.
Okay, got it. So, John, is it a VPN that you have built into Vivaldi? Is it a virtual private network where it guarantees anonymity while you're browsing the web?
No, we don't have anything like that at this time. So you would have to have a third-party VPN in addition if you want to be doing that.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. So let's walk through some of the other features that, as you were saying earlier, a browser that puts the user front and center. What makes Vivaldi special?
Well, I mean, if you start looking at, if you focus a little bit on the Android version here, what meets you with the Android version is a set of bookmarks which can be synchronized between platforms. And these are your favorite bookmarks and not something that is kind of pushed on you in any shape or form. Then you have access to things like notes. You have the ability to easily work with tabs. I mean, tabs is one of those features which we spent a lot of time on the desktop side to really be able to handle a wealth of tabs. And in the mobile version, there's a bit of that as well. You have your normal tabs, you have your private tabs, you have closed tabs, which you can then easily access, and tabs from other computers or other phones that you might have. We then have the capability to take screenshots of full pages, which is useful at times when you want to share what you're looking at, or you just bought something and you want to document it, for example. And then we have the notes function, which allows you to take notes of interesting subjects or which may include information about the pages that you're visiting.
A lot of these browser companies, John, put an emphasis on speed, like how long it takes for a page to load. How does Vivaldi fare in that department?
I mean, what people are finding is we do really well. A lot of the browsers in reality are actually utilizing the same browser engine. I mean, in the old days when we were at Opera, we wrote our browser from scratch, but now most companies are not doing that anymore. So they're reusing the same code base. So we are reusing Chromium. It's used by most every Android browser, I would say. I think you'll find that the browser runs really well, and in particular when it comes to dealing with a lot of tabs.
We'll be right back when we continue chatting about the Vivaldi browser. Stay with us on Tech It Out.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with John von Tetzchner. He is the co-founder and former CEO of Opera Software, and he's the co-founder and CEO of Vivaldi. We're chatting about a brand new browser on the market, also available for Android. What does speed dial mean? I'm looking at that right now on the beta version of the Vivaldi browser on my Android phone.
Basically visual bookmarks. So you can set up different groups of speed dials.
Okay.
And these are then on your front screen. So this is not something that's based on your browsing where it can lead to all kinds of skewed results. But it's actually the sites that you choose that you would like to have accessible. And you can put them into different groups and folders and organize it to have easy access to your favorite sites.
Ah, got it. We're chatting with John von Tetzchner. He is the co-founder and former CEO of Opera Software, and he currently serves as co-founder and CEO of Vivaldi. So I know it's in beta right now in September for Android. How long until we see an official version at the Google Play Store? And is there an iOS version in the works?
So you can download the beta in the Google Play Store, and we just launched that basically Monday. So we're collecting feedback from our users and the like, and then we'll have a process where we'll take that feedback and continue to work on other issues that we had on our list. And we'll release in months, not days, not weeks, not years, but months.
Okay. And then iOS?
iOS will have to come a little bit later. iOS requires more work from our side. So we've given focus to Android at this time, but it's on our list.
Okay. I know Android is a bigger platform globally, but in North America, iOS is number one. So wanted to know if that was on your roadmap.
Yeah, iOS is on our roadmap. It's just on Android, we can reuse the same code that we're using on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Mm-hmm. Apple doesn't allow us to do that on iOS. So we actually have to do significantly more work for that platform, which is why it will take a little bit longer. But it's planned and it will be there.
Okay, great. And then last question, John, what's your favorite feature of the Android version of Vivaldi?
I mean, there's a lot of details there, but I mean, I really like the overall structure of the browser. I mean, I'd like to have easy access to things like forward and back. I mean, it's a little detailed, but I hate how a lot of browsers actually don't have a forward button anywhere. Unless you go through 2-3 menus. I do like to have my favorite sites there when I start with the browser, and that the fact that they're synced between platforms. I love the fact that I can easily find any tabs that I have on my computer and continue working with it on the mobile. And I really find it useful to take notes and I mean, just write little notes that I can then check on my mobile. So it's the combination of having the desktop and the mobile that makes it whole.
Okay, great. All right. So our listeners who are interested in giving Vivaldi a shot, if they don't have it installed already, they just go to the Google Play Store, type in Vivaldi, as in the Baroque composer, and then they can download it for free. It is the beta, but it's pretty polished based on my experience. And then there's also the desktop versions for computers, as you mentioned.
Yeah, which you can download at vivaldi.com.
All right, vivaldi.com. John von Tetzchner, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
This show, Tech It Out, is powered by Western Digital and its super rugged G Technology branded Armor ATD portable hard drive. It's designed for those looking for a durable drive to bring on the go, especially for photographers and videographers and other content creators. Head over to g-technology.com for more info. Also, a thank you to our title sponsor, ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/us/radio for more info on all their stellar products, including their laptops, desktops, smartphones, smartwatches, tablets, computer accessories, and line of gaming gear under the ROG or Republic of Gamer brand. Love ASUS. Thank you for your continued support. And finally, as we wrap up this week's edition of Tech It Out, a reminder of the Hotels.com contest. You are eligible to win a $250 gift card if you're a legal U.S. resident who's at least 18 years old. So here's how to enter the contest. And this is the 7th out of the 8th week that we're doing it. So this week and next week, and then that's it. All right. Head over to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Send a tweet to them with a sentence on why you could use a free stay in a hotel. And then finally include the hashtag #TechItOut, the name of this program. That's it. We're going to randomly draw a winner, read it on the air next weekend. I'll also announce it on social media, at least on Twitter is what I've been doing. And again, you've got 2 chances left. So we've been doing this in August and September. So 2 more chances. You can enter as often as once a day. And all the contest details, the terms and conditions, or T's and C's as we say, is on my website at marksaltzman.com. MarkSaltzman.com. Wishing you a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Catch up with you next time on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.